Today we are going to be taking look at the surface area and volume of rectangular prisms. So the surface area is going to be the area of each surface of the solid combined in total. So the area of the top and the area of the side and the area of the front, the area of the back, bottom, the other side. I'm going to add all those areas together. That's the surface area. So I always think of it like how much you would need to make a box. Like if I was making a box that looked like this, what's the exact amount of cardboard I would need. And then the volume is the cubic units a solid takes up. So it's the amount of space that that shape actually takes up, or how much could fit inside of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at finding the front, which would be 20 times 7 would be the area of this rectangle right here. Now because it's a rectangular prism, that means the front and the back are the same. So those are both 140. The sides are 4 by 7. And once again, those are the same. So I have 2 of them. My top is 20 by 4. And once again, my bottom is the same. So those are all going to be 80. So then I have to add these together. And when I do that, I get 496. Now, these are units squared. These are squared units because it's how many little squares, if I were to cut this up, how many little squares that of cardboard it would take up, or wrapping paper. To find the volume, I'm going to do the length times the width times the height. So volume is length times width times height. So 20 times 4 times 7, and you can do that in any order that you want. You get 28 times 20, which gives me a total of 560 units. Now these aren't squares, these are little cubes, so I use that 3. These are cubics, or cubes that would fit in there. So 496 cubes would fit in there. Or I'm sorry, 560 cubes would fit in there. Our next one, same idea. It's just that this rectangular prism is standing up. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the first one. You should pause right here and then come back and see if you have it right. All right, so once again, 5 times 15, 3 times 15, and 5 times 3. So you know when you're doing the surface area of a rectangular prism, there's going to be 3 measurements, and as long as all of them get multiplied by each other, you know you've hit them all. And when I add those all together, I get 270 units squared. And this would be like 270 inches squared or 277 meters squared. I could think of it like that too. With the volume, I'm going to do 5 times 3 times 15, so I end up getting 15 times 15, which is 225, and those are going to be 225 little cubes that fit in there. This last one, I really want you to pause, try it yourself, and see if you get the right answer. All right, so go ahead and compare your answers there to mine for finding the surface area of that rectangular prism. Our volume here So check and see that you feel comfortable. And again, these are all cubic measurements for the volume and squared units or little squares that would fit on there for the surface area. And these are all rectangular prisms. Some of them are just standing up, some of them are laying down. On the back, we're going to be taking a look at some word problems that you might see. Word problems will not tell you to find the surface area and volume, but you have to look for. So the question is asking for surface area if they are talking about the outside of the object, like I need to cover it in wrapping paper, or I need to build a box and I need to know how much cardboard I need. Those are going to be surface area questions. If it is asking for volume, they're going to be talking about filling up the object, or how much space is inside, or how many of these boxes would fit in this area. Those are going to be volume type questions so that you know what to look for. So the first one says Kevin wants to paint the walls and ceiling of a room. Well, is he going to fill the room with paint, or is he going to paint the flat surfaces? So he's going to paint the flat surfaces. So it says his room is 11 feet long by 12 feet wide and it's 8 feet high. And it says how many square feet will he cover? And I know it feels weird to draw a cube to visualize this, or a rectangular prism rather, but indeed his room is a rectangular prism. We're just not going to be painting the outside of it, we're going to be painting the inside of it. But it's going to end up being the same. So if his room is 12 feet wide and 11 feet long and 8 feet high, I need to find the area of all those different things. We also, if he's painting his room, he's not painting the floor, but he is going to paint the ceiling, it says. But he says he's not going to paint the floor. So I'm not going to add a bottom in. So I would do top, and I would do the side, and I would do what you would think of as the front and the back. But you notice I'm doing a top, but I'm not doing a bottom. So that top is going to be 11 times 12, and I'm only going to have one of those. My sides are going to be 8 by 11. And my front is going to be 12 by 8. And my back is going to be 12 by 8. And that top, remember, that is the ceiling. The sides and the fronts are the walls then. These are all different walls. And so when I do this, I once again get my totals. And I'm going to add them all up. And when I do that, when I add these all up, I'm going to find that it takes, that there's 500 square feet. This time I actually have the label feet. There's 500 square feet of space that I need to paint. And so then it says 1 gallon of paint will cover 200 square feet of surface area. So 1 gallon of paint is 200 square feet. The next gallon of paint is 200 square feet. So this is 1 gallon of paint. And this is 1 gallon of paint. And I need 500, so 2 of them is not going to be enough, so I'm going to have to add on another gallon of paint. And I know that will actually cover 600 square feet. But I'm going to need all 3 gallons of paint. I should have about half of one left over, but I can't just not paint 100 square feet of it. That would just be strange. Down here is some partner practice for you to do, so I'm not going to include those answers in this video. But you can definitely check the answer key or check with me or put them in on Schoology, and you will be able to find out the answers.